Hi, it is me, Bishop J from Camp Gilgal TV. Wonderful moment to be with you. Community of Camp Gilgal TV, you are welcome. It is African Day, African Day. Community of Africa. Subscribe to Camp Gilgal TV with Bishop J and like the video and share it to all of your social media. It is African Day. Let all Africans, wherever they are, may the Lord bless you. I'm going to speak about African Day. There is some contributor that they contribute daily about Africa. If you want to know about them or to follow and to understand more about African issues, you need to follow the following people. Aminata Traore, you can find her in all of the social media. Frankie Nyamsi of Africa, you can find him in all of the African. These two speak French, they are French speaking. And then Lumumba, you can find him also, he speaks English. Kenny Seba, also you can find him, he speaks French. And Madame Sochi, also you can find her. She speaks French and English and combined. They speak about Africa all the time. It is African Day. Once more, blessed African Day to all African people. I'll talk about Africa, but I need to start by the past. We did have slavery, and in a slavery time, our best men and women were taken away from the motherland. Were taken away from the motherland. It was a way to weaken us. By the way, in the slavery time, they were not taking weak people, they were taking strong people. Not only physically, they also take those who were with brain, and they were taken away. Now, after they found out that slavery is not good things because it was against humankind, they brought on colonizations, and they say they are bringing a so-called civilization to Africa. That one also. This is a time that the killing was licensed. They kill people, they abuse people. Our mothers were raped during that colonization. They killed, they did all that they can. You know, sometimes they raise one nation above everybody. But I never heard about the restorations or the paying of what they did during slavery and colonizations against Africa. We went through all of this, but in the end of the day, the Lord is making us African to be strong and to stand up. Then we have strong leaders who rise up to fight colonizations and apartheid. And then they said, no, they changed the way. They said, no, we'll give them a freedom, which I think is not a freedom. They did not give us a freedom because after that freedom was given to us, our strong leader were directly killed. We were followed by killing them. After a month, after 6 months. Lumumba was killed by the Belgium, CIA, the Americans. They killed Lumumba. Kwame Nkrumah was killed. They were taken out of power first and killed in exile. He died in exile. Amilcar Cabral was also destroyed. These were strong leaders that they wanted Africa to stand and to develop. Kwame Nkrumah, even in that time, on the eve of 1960, he has an idea of the United States of Africa, which it brought fear to the West. It brought fear to the West because they know that a United States of Africa will be very stronger and they can stand. That's why Kwame Nkrumah was toppled and killed. The former chairwoman of African Union, Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma of South Africa, she even said we must apologize to Kwame Nkrumah because we are not yet fulfilling the visions of Kwame Nkrumah. Because a strong, united Africa is stronger and better than these small states that we have, each and every one. Then they given us a freedom time, then they lied to us. It become a neo-colonization. Neo-colonization is there. Is what it is. It is just a way of controlling you via the finance and other things. Then it brought a question to be asked: how we really having sovereign state in Africa? I doubt, because all of the decisions of Africa is being taken from the outside of Africa, even from the outside of the same so-called government that they are leading us. That's why sometimes I'm not an advocate of elections in Africa, because you vote somebody that you have no power over what you want to so-called direct or govern, because they are giving him what to say and how to do it. Decision is coming from the IMF. Decision is coming from the World Bank. Decision is coming from the G7, G20s. Decision is coming from all these renting agencies all over the world. Sometimes they make fear of South Africa, where I am, because we are not together. And I don't know if it is the provision of the time of the, I don't know if it's I don't know what I can call it. We have getting dictators who are or were useless, incompetent. I'm not apologize to be harsh on them, but they were, or they are, useless, incompetent. They cannot think. They have no vision how to take a state forward. And this is the situation that brought us to all of this calamity we have. I think it is about time that Africans need to stand up and to ask their leaders more. We need to ask our leaders more. Our leaders need to have a visions. As the leader of UAE, you have a visions, and today all of us are dreaming to go to UAE or Dubai. It does not make sense. Their leader have a visions. Our leaders in Africa, they need to have a visions. Sooner, next week, they're going to have a meeting in Addis Ababa. In Addis Ababa, they're going to have a meeting. It is about time, I repeat it again, that us Africans need really to ask our visa or our leader more. In that meeting, I've been following it since I've been following matters of the world. I don't see any decision that is helping me as an African man who live in the continent of Africa all of my life. I don't see it. But they go to that meeting. First of all, it is a difficult thing to do, even to travel to Africa. It's so expensive to travel around Africa than to go to Europe or America for that. It's very expensive, number one. Number two, you need visas. And for you to have those visas, or only to visit them, or to stay in those countries, is very problematic. They will stress you out, do all of it. You even ask, am I in Africa or am I in Europe? Even in Europe, Africans, they don't struggle like that to have a simple visa or to stay or to do all that they want to do. And then I quote the president of Kenya, President Ruto, who says that these meetings of Africa and America, Africa and France, Africa and Turkey, Africa and Chinese, Africa and Japan need to be ceased. I wonder if he's playing in a gallery or he's really taking it seriously. Because you brought all the head of state together for a matter of 2 days. How are you going to talk to 54? I think we are 54, 55 countries. Are you going to speak with them? And then in the end of that meeting, you have this Photoshop that will stand there, and other presidents, they even boast themselves. I was next to the president of America, whoever was in that time. He said that need to be stopped. But I wonder if he himself is going to take it seriously. Because that's how they see you as a small boy. They play with you as a small boy. It is about time in this African day. I'm telling Africa, we need to stop to behave like a small boys. The West, they can help us to become great. Which country in Africa tell me that the West, they build and make it great since the so-called freedom? None. None. The Chinese who are now coming here like bees or fly, they will not also help Africa to be great. Forget about it. Neither Russia, neither Turkey. I'm even shocked to see Turkey become like a big brother to Africa. I'm even shocked to see that. Even the Arabs, the yesterday developers, they are all also coming here to show their muscle to Africa. Africa is like these boys, everybody come and throw the junk to him and they think it's a luxury things. You know why? Because we don't think. If we have true leaders, not useless leaders, not coward leaders, but true leaders, they will shape Africa with visions. We have a so-called that they put there as African trade. African trade. But if you go to analyze the trade within African countries themselves, you'll see it's not even 2%. But they say the free African trade. I wonder if they will do it. They will implement it. Forget it. The IMF, the World Bank, even all these billionaires or whatever, they will never, ever, ever help Africa to develop because they know if Africa developed, then they will be poor. They need to have to subject Africa to this poverty for life for them to be rich. They know that. As Professor Lumumba said, I think also it is about time Africa country must also have nuke. I am serious about it. We must have nuclear weapon. I am very serious. I was so discouraged and disappointed to hear on the eve of Mandela being released on the prison, one of the conditions they given him was South Africa must destroy all the nuclear weapon they didn't have at the time. That really, I was shocked about it. I'll finish in this. They've killed Gaddafi. We know it, those who killed Gaddafi. The American president of the time, the French president of the time, I don't want to name names, the French president of the time, and the NATO in general. They killed Gaddafi. Why did they kill Gaddafi? Because Libya was the best African country that if they let it go forward, most of Africa was going to follow what Libya was. Even Gaddafi was speaking about the United States of Africa. And what they did, they destroyed. They killed Gaddafi and Libya is now destroyed. It's not built and there is no democracy. They killed Gaddafi in the name of democracy, but there is no democracy in Libya. What it is destroyed. In this African day, my brothers and sisters Africans, God bless you. And it is a time we must act like mature people and to ask more to our leaders. We do not want to be uploading and following anything. May God bless Africa. May fear get out of Africa and Africa must prosper.